When your password gets stolen or compromised, you update the password. When your face gets stolen or compromised, the measures are a little more extreme.
Right.
They're a
Yeah.
little more
Yeah.
extreme. So I think it's really important that we realize how valuable our face data is. We decided to put up a survey and hear from travelers. How are you experiencing facial recognition at airports? And what we found, we had hundreds of people submit their stories over 2 years. And contrary to what was being said, that this was a pilot program, the majority of travelers thought it was mandatory.
Oh my
The
goodness.
One of the number one things we heard was, I didn't know I could opt out. And it's understandable. If somebody in a position of authority tells you to step to the camera, you got a flight in 30 minutes.
Right,
I
you
don't know
gotta
how
get
much the tickets cost you. There's line pressure. You have like
right. No, yeah.
everything. Yeah, everything that would point to, if you're not careful, coercive consent. Now you step up to the camera, and most people do comply in a situation like that, especially if they don't know they have the right to opt out. I think what was also troubling was people who did know they had the right to opt out. Sometimes when they tried to, they were told that they weren't allowed to opt out, or it's too late. We already took your photo. You should have told us beforehand. Parents were very upset. There was a man with autism, and his son had autism as well. And he was talking about how his son, right, was scanned without consent, or even a time taken to really explain what was going on. But we also saw the power of opting out, right? So there were stories where people said, when you're in the airport, you feel like you're just being corralled. You're at the mercy. And so the sense that, oh, I could actually take a stand or make a difference here. And what I found was important was, sometimes the only reason other people knew they could opt out is because they saw the person in front of them do it. And supposedly there's signage that lets people know you can opt out. We've put it on our website. We documented in the report on all of that. The signage isn't enough. It's often also not visible. Sometimes it's in Spanish. I'm working on my Spanish, but that sort of thing. Or the part that tells you to opt out is just so happens, it might be a coincidence, it's covered by the pull-out barrier.
Right.
Itself just happens to be there. And now we know TSA and airports know how to do clear signage. No weapons formed against TSA shall prosper. A nearly $15,000 fine. I see that sign. They're hiring. I see that sign. Digital ID. I've seen that sign, right? So there are design choices here that can make it clear, but it's a lot more than signage. It's about power, right? In the first place. And it's also about, what kind of culture do we want? Do we want a consent culture where you have a real choice? And I think even more pressingly, are we moving towards a surveillance society? Right. Where wherever you go, whether it's at the airport or elsewhere, you're being tracked. And you might argue, oh, we're tracked by our phones and things like that. You can leave your phone at home, your face a little harder.
Yeah.
Right. Or you're like, okay, it's like your face is like a password or something like that. When your password gets stolen or compromised, you update the password. When your face gets stolen or compromised, the measures are a little more extreme.
Right.
They're a little more extreme. So I think it's really important that we realize how valuable our face data is. And the Department of Homeland Security has had breaches of face data in the past. And not only that, we're also at a point in time where you have data systems being linked. So it's not necessarily the case, and this is what other civil rights organizations have pointed out, right? It's not just what happens in the airport, it's what can be done with that data outside the airport. Even if they say we're not doing anything now, I always say we're a line of code away from surveillance. So unless if we, as people of concern, voice these concerns, push for alternatives, then we will keep veering towards increased surveillance. And that erodes a reasonable expectation of privacy, because now it's not just going to be cameras at the airport. It's going to be cameras and glasses, right? As we
Yeah.
start to see more smart glasses come out, it's going to be the audio, the mics on people's pendants with always on AI recording devices and so forth. We see this coming. The products are out
Yeah.
there. So it's up to us to say, what's the standard we want in the societies we live in?
Everyone turn on your facial recognition block. We're here to make a plan and can't nobody stop. Everyone turn on your facial recognition block. We're here to make a plan and can't nobody stop. Everyone turn on your facial recognition